Name something you said on this app that got men mad.
Pretty much anytime I say that pirates never bury treasure. Anytime. TikTok, Twitter, emails, any form of communication, my inbox somehow gets flooded, and it's always men who tell me how incorrect I am. And then they throw me the Wikipedia page for Captain Kidd and say, see, he did bury treasure, despite the fact that the sources that Wikipedia cites are incorrect, illegitimate sources. But whatevs, I don't back down.
One, when I was talking about Mark Wahlberg as being a trash-ass man and how he got paid $1.5 million for reshoots and his co-star Michelle Williams got paid less than $1,000, a lot of you men weirdly came to Mark Wahlberg's defense on that and basically outed yourselves as supporting the gender pay gap. And two, this was more on white people in general. I said last year that the Oscars really love to award white people, which I'm not wrong, and I stand by that. And a lot of y'all's defense is that, oh, these award shows are by merit and not by race. So the fact that they awarded significantly more white people historically over the years, you equate that to merit. Okay. But then somehow an equally as talented BIPOC actor or actress can win the award, and somehow it's all about race now. Force diversity.
I mean, if you insist. And I really think I won this one. I'm finishing up my PhD in social psychology and I study gender dynamics. I think you can tell how this is going. Because I am a qualified expert on the subject matter, I often share research that I read or that I work on TikTok. And I summarized some peer-reviewed, empirical, scientific research looking at masculinity. Specifically looking at how masculinity is more of a precarious state than womanhood, and men have to constantly be reasserting and re-demonstrating that they are good men. Like, this isn't new. This isn't a surprise to anyone. But what was fascinating about the research was that they found that when men feel that their gender status has been threatened, so when they feel like they aren't performing as well as other men on gendered tasks, or when they're nervous about looking too feminine, it leads to anxiety, again, not a surprise, but the anxiety can be restored or reduced if they engage in aggressive behavior. So aggression is kind of this response in order to remove the masculinity threat. And the men didn't like hearing about this, despite the fact that the research was conducted by men and women, but men. So they hated hearing about a woman talk about masculinity so much. It caused them so much anxiety that they mass reported it as hate speech. And so it almost seems as if a woman talking about gender and masculinity was threatening, made men feel a little anxious, and led them to retaliate in an aggressive manner by reporting me as hate speech. Like, I can't make up how perfectly they proved my point. And the comments. Oh, the comments. Why do women get to talk about men? Why do females think they know so much about men? Like, bestie, because I'm an expert. And these are the same men who, when I post about psychological processes that affect women, are all, why are you only talking about women? You say you're a feminist. What about men? Why are you... It's a little sexist to only be studying women, isn't it? Like, bestie, if you think that me sharing peer-reviewed science about masculinity is hate speech, maybe ask yourself, what is it about fragile masculinity that's so hateful? Because you act like you don't know in my comments, but it seems like you know. You know?
Name something you said on this app that got men mad.
I've actually been thinking about this a lot and just remembering it. At some point, I made a video about Quentin Tarantino's use of the N-word, and I talked about how I found it incredibly excessive. And then not only that, but I cited specific interviews where him, a white man, not in character, not doing anything, used the N-word multiple times throughout the past 30 years. And people sent me death threats, including black men. I said, hey, I'm sorry, hi, there's a toddler right here, hi. I literally said, hey, this white man used the N-word out loud, in public, no good reason for it. And they said, I'm going to find you and kill you. In more than one movie, he's used it more than it was used in the Birth of a Nation script. That's what I'm saying, it's crazy.
All I said is women rank physical appearance as less important than men rank physical appearance in a relationship. And we don't care if you go to the gym. That's all I said, is we don't care if you go to the gym.
Masculinity, real, healthy, productive, non-toxic masculinity, is not defined by the feminine traits you lack.
Name something you said on this app that got men mad.
All I said was that I am convinced that most, not all, most people are pretending that beer tastes good.
It's not so much that it made them mad, but they certainly had an opinion of it. I said that I was a stay-at-home dad. And of course, the manly men, the men's men, they all think that that's not a place for a man. Being a Susie homemaker. You should be supporting your family. You're lazy. Entitled. Go to work, you bum. But let's face it, those aren't men. Those are 40, 50, 60, 70-year-old man-children.
Every single thing that men attribute to misandry is actually attributable to misogyny. When you complain that women only value us as providers, that's because we made it so difficult for them to be the provider. When you complain about how constraining and limiting masculinity and manhood can be, that's because we've labeled the alternatives to feminine, to woman-like, and therefore bad. When you declare that women can make fun of men, but men can no longer make fun of women, that betrays both a lack of awareness that comedy is in punching up, not in punching down, and also that, decades, centuries of men dictating what is funny and being the exclusive tellers of jokes has made us all really fragile.
Name something you said on this app that got men mad.
That women and femmes have the power and the ability to protect themselves and children from abusers through any means necessary. And we don't need men to do it for us, because usually we're protecting each other against other men.
I didn't actually say anything in the video, but I posted a TikTok of me taking a Plan B, but I wasn't wearing any makeup, and men seemed to be really upset that a woman with visible acne got cream pied.
I told women that they should be financially capable and stable on their own, but they shouldn't partner with broke men because it's a liability and their survival depends on it. Because depending on who you partner with will depend on the trajectory of your life, the quality of that life, and what it has to offer. So if he's not offering anything but just D and a headache, that's all you get. And then you have to take care of not only the child you brought into the world, but you have to take care of this man child as well. And no one deserves that. You deserve a soft life and a great partner, where it's a partnership and it's a team, and you guys are building towards your future, your vision, your morals together.
A lot of you probably won't remember this because it was a long time ago. I one time said that Hagakure from My Hero deserved to be able to wear clothes using like the same kind of research principles that they used to make Mirio's hero outfit, like using her hair or something. And men got so mad they were sending me death threats and threatening to come into my house and beat the shit out of me.
Name something you said on this app that got men mad.
I said that before women meet men in person for the first time, they should reject them in some way so as to test the way that they deal with rejection. The idea being that you don't put yourself in a physically compromising situation with someone who becomes violent when they're rejected. And some of y'all got mad, called it manipulation, gameplay, and you didn't like that I didn't respond to somebody who was rude to me after I politely declined their offer. But you know what? It doesn't matter who's mad. It doesn't matter who says you ghosted. It doesn't matter if people say that you're playing games. None of that matters if you've kept yourself safe.
Name something you said on this app that got men mad.
I said I will no longer move out of the way for men on the sidewalk. I also made an observation that the men that did not move out of my way and seemed the most indignant that I didn't move out of their way happened to be white men. In fact, 3 white men wouldn't get out of my way and ended up forcing my daughter and I, my 3-year-old daughter, into the street. They saw nothing wrong with that. Anyway, I told this story, and apparently it ended up on that really awful Twitter account, Liberals of TikTok or whatever it's called. I had a lot of angry men come at me. I just found it really telling that these men were angry that I wouldn't get out of their way on the sidewalk. Many of them threatened me. I'm 6'1", and I tend to intimidate men in person, so I know these little boys wouldn't have said a damn thing to me in person. Why am I expected to move for them?